Hi, I'm Rob, and this is Gems of War. It's Guild Wars, and it's Guild Wars Day 1, Purple Day. So let's see what we have in store today. Right, Shining Force 1 is the enemy. Right, Yaogwai, Queen Titania, Doomed Staff, and Child of Summer. Yaogwai is the main threat here. The Doomed weapon is not too bad. Not worried about that. It's Yaogwai we're worried about. So, yeah, let's have a look at see what they've got in the way of traits enabled. So we're not entangled at the start, we're not frozen at the start, that's all good. So I've got a bunch of teams on Guild Wars Purple Day I like to use for a variety of reasons. This is just a good fun team. Once it gets going, it's hard to stop. I'll explain them in more detail should I use them. This one is again a really good looping team with Sharpani Vespera casting continuously onto Thrall or the Doomed weapon, which keeps the loop going because there's a very high chance when Vespera casts that you'll get a continuous load of purple on the screen and boosts up everybody at the same time. But that's not the team I'll be using for this. I want to silence Yaogwai as quickly as possible, so I'm going to pick a team that has a silence in it. Not this one. This is a hyper aggressive team. When when this team works, it's fantastic. You look like a genius because it just loads up. You cast Leprechaun. If Archfoxy Avendra gets charged straight away and you get alignment on yellow, just to Uber Doomskulls, you can just wipe out the opposition in like single hits and it just go, you know, bash, bash, and all of a sudden the game's won and it was over and done with before you even know it. The downside of that team is if you don't get alignments on yellow, then it can be hard work. So I'm not using that one. I think we'll go with this one because the way this will work is Leprechaun will cast from the off because he starts with full mana. That should get String Fiddler charged unless we're really unlucky, and then that enables us to silence an enemy and explode some of their mana colours, which will give us mana back ourselves. And the idea is we'll put that on Yaogwai with Life and Death and Arachnian Reaver both doing true damage. The idea is on these that we'll cast these, hopefully Life and Death first, and then Arachnian Reaver second, because if you kill the enemy when casting Arachnian Reaver, you get a load of you explode 15 gems, which gives us a load of mana back. Right, and they've got a lot of health there, so we're not going to be doing that in 2 turns. So we're going to have to cast Life and Death and Arachnian Reaver at least 2 to 1. So 2 casts of Life and Death and 1 of Arachnian Reaver, or vice versa. But if we get a little run going, we should be able to silence the main threat, which is Yaogwai. I'll always grab 4 and 5 matches when they're there. Nobody's frozen, so it's all safe to collect away, even though it's not our colours. But it's better than nothing. I can get Life and Death ready, but I really want to get String Fiddler done, so we'll cast Leprechaun. Right, now it's off and running, which is good. Grab that anyway. We'll throw that onto the Yaogwai. He's now silenced. That's the main threat. We'll now silence the second main threat, which is probably Queen Titania. Now we'll silence the hero, because basically if Child of Summer casts, so what? There's, you know, if nobody can collect mana, which you can't do when you're silenced, you can't collect mana or cast a spell, then they can have as much mana as they want. And for that we shall cast Life and Death, get the first bit of damage going. Grab the 4 match when it's there. Now Arachnian Weaver. Life and Death has already taken care of the last opponent, so that was nice. Now we can charge up our other troops by casting Leprechaun. Now Arachnian Weaver will take care of the last opponent, and we've got these 2 charged up now, and we'll win off of these 2 casts. No, not quite. The last opponent, look, he's got 1 health left after this. Alright, we got him anyway. So that was a nice straightforward first game. Long may it continue. What did I get there? 3,263 points. Who's next? Right, so we've got a converter here, gonna convert yellow to purple. This can work in your favour if you look at the board and make sure they're not going to get any obvious 4 matches, because sometimes the AI casts whether it does them any good or not, which can be handy sometimes. But this is going to be a converter to blue to purple, and this is going to be all about the Doomed Chronicle. It's going to deal 70 scatter damage plus 4 per tempering level, and a mix of 6 purple gems and skulls for every purple enemy. So that's what they're relying on. And they've got Sister Superior there to cleanse anybody if we start them entangled. So for this reason, and Shining Watchman being the only real threat, we'll make sure he's not immune to silence first. Oh, he's stealthy, so right, that's interesting. We're not going to be able to target him with silence. Right, everybody else though is susceptible to silence, but it's a big ask to rely on being able to silence a whole team apart from Doomed Chronicle like we did the last one. But he is in second to last place, so he is subject to being attacked by Life and Death and Arachian Weaver. Let's have a look at the other ones quickly. That's more of an anti-goblin team because it's got lots of extra turns and freezes on Ulor and the class itself. Tempted to go with my super aggressive team because it is such fun to use. But I won't. Providing this gets a good start on this one, it should be plain sailing. Yeah, because they're going to convert purple, I'm going to have a go with this one. The idea with this one is we get purple, which charges up Thrall. Once Thrall is charged up, we cast Thrall, which is going to give us a bunch of mana generation because he destroys a load of gems. And then once Vespera gets charged up, she can cause an infinite loop on our troops because everyone else is purple, and her spell, in my case, gives 20 to a random skill on an ally and creates 9 gems of their mana colour, then repeats 2 more times for random allies. But where we've got so many allies using purple, the chances are we're going to get just tons of purple all the time. You chuck it on Thrall, his attack can go through the roof because the application of her spell could go on his attack. And when you get Skeleton charged up as well, you cast him. If the skulls line up, happy days. If they don't, you have an extra turn anyway. And yeah, it can work really, really sweet. So it's offering me yellow, but I don't want that. I want to get Thrall charged up. But let's just check around first. Convert yellow to purple. Let's check that first. That's a 4 match there, so that's annoying. We're most likely going to take this one already. And blue to purple, which they've got a 3 match there on this side, but not as bad as this. So for that reason, I will take that and party. Right, now Thrall, do your stuff. Okay, we're off and running. Now we can take this 4 match, we're not frozen anywhere. Now we can cast Skeleton. He got a nice skull hit there. Now we cast Vespera onto Thrall. That's created loads of purple, charged everybody up again. Not interested in these matches, this wastes actions as they're called in Guild Wars. You can get lucky skull drops off of that sort of thing, so depending upon your playstyle you may prefer to do that. We'll cast Vespera again onto Thrall. Be nice if the boost that she gives goes onto his attack, because that's what I want it on the most, because when you get those skull hits from skeleton. We'll take that this time. Got another skull there. Then it's going to do a lot more damage. So that was nice. Can do it this way because we're going to get a skull hit and an extra turn anyway. We'll cast skeleton again. We've got a nice lucky skull hit there and another one. Got his extra turn back, and there's another one. We'll cast Vespera onto Thrall again. Got an extra turn at the top and a skull hit. Now just Sistu Superior to deal with. And Thrall's attack has finally been boosted, look, to 84. So that's nice. No need to take that extra blue, it's just wasting game turns. And we're one skull hit away. Let me see if this will... Hang on, this will bring this one all the way down to here somewhere. And that will do the job, and we're going to have everybody fully charged. So a nice start. Oh, I didn't look at the points. Went into autopilot mode of just continuing. I didn't see what the points were there. Anyway. Right, it's 4,635 now, so I had 3,300 something last time, so that was worth 1,300? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, next one. Right, same kind of deal. So I'm going to go with a strategy: if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Same kind of thing again, really. Slight change with Gimlet Stormbrew there. But we're going to get purple straight away, which is really nice. With Thrall, it's really handy. He gets a bonus purple from that, and I don't think I showed my things at the beginning, my traits and stuff. I mean, Archmagus, which is really nice. It gains 2 purple mana when matching purple gems as well, which when combined with Thrall's means you just get 3 match on purple, and Thrall is ready to go because he only needs 6 to get charged. And on champion talents, I went for Magical Shield. All purple allies gain 2 armor. Dark Hunger, steal 1 life from the first enemy when matching purple gems, which we do a lot. Anti-Magic Sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20%. Mana Source, starts battles with 50%. Sudden Doom, creates a Doom Storm at the start of the battle. Lightning Strike, explodes 1 yellow gem on 4 or 5 matches, which we do a lot because of Vespera's spell, and that helps mana generation. And Chaos Wave, and all enemies lose 1 point on a random skill when I match skulls. And that is the traits. To get back into the flow of what I was doing now, what was I doing? Right, I was going to cast Thrall, I think. He's going to transform all green to brown, but what would be, because Thrall's going to mess the board up anyway. And we've got an extra turn as well, so that's really nice. We'll cast Skeleton first, see if we get any extra turns and skull hits from that, which we do. Now we'll cast Vespera onto Thrall. And that's charged everybody up. Now it's Skeleton. Just keep doing it in this order. They got a backup there. That was handy. I'll bring that down one because that's going to bring those skulls nearer. And that worked out nice there. Now we'll do Vespera again onto Thrall. Sometimes if she puts the extra bonus onto Thrall's attack, that can make these kind of games like super fast because his attack just flies up really fast and makes really short work of these kind of games. Cast Vespera onto Thrall again. It keeps on going onto his life right now. It'd be really nice if she put it onto his attack. It'd be much quicker. But it is what it is. I'm happy with the way things are going. Not going to take that because there's no need to. We're already going good. It's only going to give a bit of a boost to Skeleton and not charge him completely. So I'd rather keep the purple on the board, which aids Vespera's spell. So we have to get some alignment there now. And his attack has been boosted to 74. And they get another backup. But hey ho. Shouldn't hinder us too much. Cast skeleton. Thrall. See, I haven't even looked at the Doomed Ram yet. That could be actually really high because when Vespera's spell gets put onto the random ally, because she does that two more times for random allies after you do it on the one that you've chosen, then yeah, but it hasn't affected him that much actually. It's only gone up to 61 heavy splash damage, so no big deal there. Not been missing out on anything. Another backup. Well, Thrall's getting a workout, that's for sure. Right, that's them dealt with. Now just the one in last place. And there it is, and everybody's charged again. So that's a good result. Happy with that. 1,479, I think that was. Shining Crazy Lady. Right, now we have Emerald Tier, which gains 48 life and creates green gems boosted by enchanted allies. Now, let's see what they've got on the champion talents. Okay, so we're not entangled at the start, that's nice. It's always good to start with this Thrall team like this when you're not entangled at the start, because otherwise if you are entangled it can slow it down immensely and you're possibly better off choosing something else. Again, I'm not going to choose a team that has silence in this because Queen Beatrix, all she has to do is get a 4-match and she's going to cleanse everybody. So even like in that first game where we managed to silence everyone, with this team here, Queen Beatrix would just get a 4-match and you've just undone all that silence you've just done. So all that work is undone and they'll all be cleansed. So I'm not going to go with silence here. Astralis is good, very good indeed. But I'm going to stick with this team because it's all about controlling the board. And if we get a good start, we should be okay. So no 4 matches, just check what Mercy's going to change. She converts purple to yellow, so we want to make sure she doesn't get any 4 matches off of that. Or 3 matches if possible, just anything at all. And in a way, and hopefully in a way, that basically sets it up for us, because generally she will cast that. The AI tends to cast it straight away so many times. So we've got to look at a way of how we can do that to our advantage. If we move that one to there, and she converts all these ones, that's not going to be there anymore. I'm just going to put the yellow over there, so they'll still get a small benefit from it, but not a 4 match. I can do it this way round. That's possibly better. Yeah, I'm going to do that. There you go. So on about how you can make it benefit you sometimes. That was handy, it did that. I'm going to cast Thrall now. Get everybody charged up. Well, not everybody. Vespera charged up is the main thing. And as long as they don't get going, we should be able to get going quite quickly. Now, Vespera onto Thrall. And already we've got our little sequence on the go now. Skeleton casts first. No luck with that. So we'll cast Vespera back onto Thrall again. And we've already got a nice boost to his attack look. It's gone up to 74. So that's nice. With everybody charged, I'm not going to... Actually, I might take that. It's going to drop down by 3. So we're going to get a skull hit out of that. So I will do that. Well, that turned out into a mega skull here. That was lined up about about 5 across there. That was really nice. So skeleton again. No obvious 4 hits on that, so we'll cast Vespera onto Thrall again. Now skeleton. It's a nice easy system. It works really well. Providing you get going on purple at the start, you're okay. I'll bring that down. It's going to make those skulls closer together, and we've got a wild card times 2 there, so this 4 is now going to become 8. So skeleton should go to 8, but we get a bonus from that. So he's now fully charged, which is nice. It's got the purple bonuses when we collect purple. We'll cast Vespera. Again, I'm not going to collect these when we're already fully charged on everybody. It just wastes a turn, which costs you a point in Guild Wars. I think every action, whether it's an extra move or not, like this, classes as an action. And then every action costs you a point. 94 attack now on Thrall, which is nice. I really want to finish him off with skulls so we can have everybody fully charged. So I'll do one more cast on Vespera. That's nice. And everybody charged again. 1,632 points that was that time. So 4-0 going well. Shining arcadey. Okay. Now we've got a goblin team. Now I can use this team still, but if this team gets going straight away, we're in trouble because that'll have danger of looping continuously until we die. And if we, let's take a look. Let's see what they got going here. Right, Shadow's Call, back up, stealthy so they can't be targeted, but no freeze and no entangle at the start, so that is good. Did they, yeah, they start with 50% start. But that is it, and if that manages to cast though, that is a really good chance of getting the other goblins charged up, because the potions from that Celestial Flask are really good. String Fiddler can silence us, which is bad news for us, and creates a Leaf Storm at the start, so they're going to get a lot of green, so that's going to hinder our purple. Most people know about Gob Truffle being particularly dangerous. And Flaming Oni is a new mythic. He's pretty good. Explodes a load of green gems, has an extra turn, and summons 3 goblins, so even if you clear out these first 3 from the start, but don't finish him off, you can have a load of enemies to deal with. I'm considering going to a freeze and silence strategy for this team, because we should get going first, but it's, you know, we've had a lot of luck so far. We've had good starts on all our games, and I don't want to risk it. Right, this is a semi-freeze team. Like Frostmage will freeze one of them from the start, but it doesn't have a silence as well, and I want to have a silence in there as well. May go with this one, because a String Fiddler is going to silence the enemy in the same way theirs does, but we do get a good start with Leprechaun, and if we can silence people, we'll start silencing them in turn, because I'm just going to triple check this, that no one's immune to silence. Alright, he is. Right, so any String Fiddler is immune to silence, so that's a good choice. This is technically my anti-goblin team, because your Frost Mage from the start, Ulor is really good. His third trait there, freeze and fairy fire a random enemy when matching blue gems. So just by collecting blue, we're going to freeze another one of the goblins, unless we're unlucky and it decides to freeze the same one that's already frozen from the start. Didn't see a cleanse in their team, so this will really hinder them, because fairy fire does 50% extra damage from incoming damaging spells. So he's really nice, and I really like his spell. He really cripples the opponent. He eliminates, in my case, 35 attack from the first 2 enemies, 35 magic from the last 2, and drains all the mana from the strongest 2. So that would reduce Gob Truffle's damage all the way down. Well, it's 35 off of 51, it's 16. So he'd be doing only 18 damage to all enemies, which is nowhere near as bad. And if he's frozen, which hopefully he will be. So shall I show this team? I'm in 2 minds. It's a good team because you start off charging Reflection of Good. You collect red for Wisp, sorry. and that dispels all enemies, so any positive traits that are on them are gone. It charms them, so it does damage to either side. The enemy basically beats themselves up and gains an extra turn, and starts with 75% mana, so one collection of red and that is ready to go. I'm in two minds. I don't know if to do this one or go with the team I was just doing. No, I do want to freeze them. I do want to freeze them. So it's either this one or... I'm going to try this one, just for fun, because I like it. Yeah, I'm just going to double check my traits. Snap freeze, so we freeze an enemy at the start while being immune to frozen ourselves. Anti-magic sphere, so we reduce damage from spells by 20%, and we start with 50% mana ourselves. We also submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches, which is handy because then Gobtroffle can't get us from that. Elementals gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, and that is it. Right, so I'm just going to go for it. It's a fun team to use. It's one of those teams that doesn't look like it'll be particularly good. We've frozen Gobtroffle already from the start because of the snap freeze, which is nice. In an ideal world, we'd get red straight away. I don't mind him giving them that Scarlet hit if they take that. We'll try and Scarlet bait him into doing that. Because Wisp is ready to go. Just check around for any 4 matches. Can't see any. So we cast Wisp. Charm is really good because basically I think that worked then on must have done on the top troop, because it does their damage against the opponent either side. So it's really cool. I really like Charm. We get an extra turn as well, so we still get an extra chance to charge up. And I'll take this purple here because we're going to get the green drop from there at the same time. Now we can start silencing them as well, which is really handy. We'll silence. He's immune, the other one's stealthy, so I'll chuck it on him and get some mana generation at the same time. Check around for 4 matches, nothing particularly doing, so we'll cast that on ourselves, which explodes a load of gems, which gets everybody charged up, and we got an extra turn there as well. So now we cast Wisp, because Wisp does charm, and where we're getting the blue from Ulor, he's now fairy-fired these enemies, so these get now extra damage from incoming spells, which is nice. And we collect this blue here, so somebody else is going to get frozen and fairy-fired. Now 3 out of this normally dangerous goblin-based team are now frozen, which freeze absolutely kills the goblin teams. And we've got the backup of Ulor here. We'll save that until we need it. We'll keep casting Wisp while it's there because we're guaranteed an extra turn. Their team is basically beating each other up, which is all part of the fun. Making goblins beat themselves up is fun. We'll chuck that onto Gobtroffle now as extra insurance. Wisp is ready to go again, so we'll cast him. Or her, who knows? Or an it. Could just be a thing, I don't know. Extra turn there on purple. No point casting Ulor just yet, so we'll just concentrate on casting Reflection of Good onto String Fiddler, which is going to explode a load of gems. And the first enemy got wiped out, but they got a backup. So we go Wisp. And these two are now nearly gone. Don't really want to do skull hits because that's boring. But no point casting Ulor either, so we'll give them that skull hit down there, because one of the good things about this is we've got barrier, and we've also got reflect as well. Reflect will ping back 50% damage back to the person that cast it. Now we'll do explosion there to get some extra mana generation. The charm from Wisp. Silence anybody that's not silenced. We'll throw that onto Bandit. Oh, and he's stealthy, we can't. So we'll double up on Gob Truffle. When you cast something like Silence on an enemy that's already got, in this case, Silence, it refreshes the effect. So it starts again effectively from 10% chance to recover. So it's better to put it on. Renew it if you can. There's one enemy gone. We've got some 4-match down here, which is nice. So yeah, this is going very nicely. Or chuck that onto Wisp just because he was one of the only ones not charged yet. Wisp becomes slightly less effective now because if it casts it on, like now, like Wisp, his effect is reduced because Charm only works on enemies either side or adjacent. So we've now got no enemies either side or adjacent, so his Charm won't actually work. Yeah, see, a charmed troop deals its attack as damage to the troops above and below it, but they have to be completely above and below it, not above as in 3 spaces above. But it's still good though, because Wisp jumbles the board. Sometimes if you've got a load of skulls there and you're wanting a skull hit to just finish the game, you can use Wisp's spell to jumble the board and then hopefully get a skull alignment. So you can do it that way as well. Like here, like for example, I'll just chuck that onto him to double that and get some mana generation. Now we'll concentrate now on keeping only silenced because we don't want him casting or having any chance of casting, because do not want 3 more goblins coming back into the fray. And one thing to note if you do use this team is when you get an enemy last like this, one enemy remaining, you have to do on skull hits. Like Ulor's spell does not do any direct damage. Neither does Wisp's anymore because its damage is on Charm. String Fiddler just silences and explodes gems, and Reflection of Good just grants all status effects to yourself and explodes a load of gems. You will get damage from the skulls that are destroyed, but it'll be a lot slower than just giving them the direct damage from skulls. Like now, there's no skull hits available there, so I will probably cast Wisp like that, and as I was saying, we've now got a skull match there. I'll grab that anyway because it shouldn't affect the skulls, and then we'll get our skull hit again. I do want to get String Fiddler charged up again. Now everyone's sort of easily charged up. We could have got it manually, but I'll just cast that because it charges up literally everybody. No direct skull hits again. That may drop some down now, so we'll take that. It didn't. We'll jumble the board, see if we get any skull alignments. We didn't. So this is slightly irritating end to the game. It's slowed us up a little bit. We'll add silence to him yet again just for extra guarantee. And we're just now one skull bash away from doing it. In fact, an explosion, if we get lucky with the explosion, should be enough. Not quite. Yes, it was. Done. Right, and 3 out of 4 charged as well, so that's decent points. £1,672 points for there. So overall, that was a decent purple day. Used a good mixture of teams there for that, which was fun. I don't like to use the same team all the time. Like to mix it up a little bit. So how did I do? We've got Twisted Be Dead on 9561. He's the Paragon. He's the one to beat if we're going for that kind of thing. And I've got 9416, so it's not too bad. Right, happy with that. So there's the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing because it really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. See you again next time, which will probably be tomorrow for the next Guild Wars attack day, which is going to be Brown Day. So hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye for now.